In just a few years, electronic circuits have turned from a mess of wires into modern electronic circuit boards. These circuit boards are the heart of any device, be it a smartphone, computer, or a printer. Almost all modern electronic devices have circuit boards of different levels of complexity, which allow the devices to perform a variety of sophisticated functions. Today we will tell you how printed circuit boards, the electronic brains behind the devices and appliances we use every day, are made. The VD Mays company is one of the leaders in circuit boards for the Ukrainian market. They produce several million circuit boards for many different industries annually. The path of a printed circuit board, PCB, begins in the design department. Engineers conduct the technological preparation for production and are engaged in the design and manufacturing of industrial equipment. The panels of circuit boards on which everything is attached to are brought to production ready-made. Workers check every panel for defects because there could be mechanical damage, poor layer bonding, copper stains, etc. Then the panels are sent to the assembly line. The whole line is fully automated. Almost all of the work is done by robots. People only have to control the machines at different stages of the production. After the panels are loaded onto the assembly line, the operator presses a button and sends the blank PCBs off. First, the solder paste is applied by a template. It attaches components to the surface of the panel. The paste contains a tin lead alloy in addition to everything else. Next, the soldering of the components takes place. High-speed robots automatically place components in the correct places. These complex machines are able to correctly arrange several thousand components per hour. The setter takes the required components from a feeder and places them on the PCB. They are equipped with special cameras in order to help place the components on the mounting surface. Engineers have created special software for the robots to assemble each type of circuit board. The PCB, with its components installed, continues its journey to the furnace, where a very important operation will take place. The heat of the furnace solders the components to the board. An operator monitors every stage of soldering. The furnace has separate areas with different degrees of temperatures. This is to ensure that the flux appears first. Nitrogen is used for soldering some circuit boards. The process of element soldering occurs in an inert environment, which improves the quality of soldering. After the components are soldered and the board is cooled down, the conveyor moves it from the furnace. PCB is almost ready for use. But before it can be sent to the warehouse, it must undergo testing. Using electric current, engineers check the board for short circuits or undisclosed circuits. Each PCB is tested separately. We're witnessing how traffic lights are produced. This sophisticated machine is programmed to perform advanced microprocesses. All the parts are tested separately. Elements which were treated with special solutions are thoroughly washed, cleaned, and dried at the end of the cycle. Automation cannot replace every company's labor supply. Manual labor is still absolutely necessary, especially for performing independent and experimental tasks. Workers place the PCB components via a blueprint and then solder them. These are the called DIP packages. After all the components are installed, the workers wash constructed PCBs in special machines. This process takes 3 to 5 minutes depending on the size and specifics of the PCB. The circuit board is taken out, washed with running water, and then dried. Immediately after processing, a worker signs the PCB and submits it for testing. The design documentation states the PCB has been checked for correct component installation, value, and soldering quality. The finished product is packaged in a special film, placed in a box, and sent to a warehouse. Everything is carefully assorted at the warehouse. The barcodes are scanned for each PCB. The final product will be sent to the customer after the bill is thoroughly read and inspected.